Hey everyone, it's Alter Ego Fitz, and for a year now, I have been experiencing, and as of now, I have fully experienced One Piece. And as I know, what I can say is it become my favorite anime of all time, and I have become a lifelong fan of it. I would go as far as to even say it's the best piece of fiction I have ever experienced before. And this is coming from someone who, for a while now, kind of was a bit of a hater, if not a skeptic as well, and I never really gave One Piece a fair chance. That was until I met my, well, soon to be my bestest friend. And for the sake of anonymity, I'm gonna call him Shanks. So thank you, Shanks. You helped me really finally, give One Piece a fair chance and really open my mind to it. Since, how can you say you really, tried something or know if it's bad or good if you haven't really tried it, right? Obviously, there are some limitations to that, but I digress. Let's get on to the main point of the video. For starters, you gotta go into One Piece with an open mindset, right? You gotta treat it as a new experience or a new adventure to go on. And, for those who aren't the adventurous type, think of One Piece as something to do when you're really bored and you got nothing better to do. Next, read up until chapter 95, which is the end of Arlong Park. I say this in stark contrast to what most One Piece fans will tell you, right? Most One Piece fans will recommend that you watch the anime first. And my recommendation comes from two places. One, I read the manga first, and I can assure you, the pacing in the manga is just way more like natural, not prolonged, doesn't take too long compared to the seemingly prolongingness or overly extensiveness of the anime at times, right? And reason like one and a half is that if you are reading something, it's all dictated on your own reading speed. So essentially you can choose to, go through an arc really fast, like read a bunch of chapters and finish one, or take your time with it, right? You don't feel like that pressure. And reason number two is that if you don't like the manga colored black and white, or just want to kind of make it feel like you're watching the anime or as an anime, you can read the digitally colored version of One Piece, and that essentially has all of the arcs up until the middle of the Wano Country arc colored and looking just like the anime. And don't worry about that. Wano Country arc is like 900 chapters away from Arlong Park, so there's nothing to fear in terms of not having enough colored pages, right? But anyhow, with that being said, for reading One Piece, I would recommend 4 websites, and you can read One Piece for free there. Basically, that includes mangareader.to, mangadex.org, manganato.com, and manganelo.com. I'll be putting the links for those websites in the description down below. So after you're done, reading up until chapter 95, and you're feeling interested, you're feeling really hooked into One Piece, you want more, then keep reading. You're in for a wild ride. But however, if you are, not so hooked, not so interested, you don't want to learn more about the characters, you don't want to keep reading, then just stop, just drop it, and that's that. At least you can know that you tried, you gave One Piece a fair chance, and it just didn't work out, because One Piece is not for everyone, right? But you won't know until you try something, right? Obviously there are limitations to that, but the point still stands. And going back, if you were the person who is really liking One Piece and want to keep reading, and you're now caught up to One Piece all the way up until, let's say, right, as of recording now, it's like, that would be Elbaf, which is like chapter 1140, I think, or 39. But yeah, you're caught up. You should then start watching the anime, right? And I say this because there's a really great website to watch the anime on. It's called onepiece.me. Link will be in the description down below. Essentially, that website takes all of the episodes of the anime up until this point, which is 1,122 episodes, and takes them down to 500 episodes. Cuts it in half, right? And basically, what that means is that essentially a bunch of dedicated One Piece fans took each episode of each arc of One Piece and like edit it in a certain way to make it so there was less of that, there was no padding or that unnecessarily long shots and prolongedness of certain fights that Toei is known for, right? And essentially, oh my god, I'm so sorry about this. Give me a minute. My freaking laptop. Oy, oy, oy. Silly me. Freaking wallpaper engine. I'm sorry, what was I saying? I was saying that essentially One Piece takes all that unnecessary padding, cuts it down, and just makes the episodes or the arcs feel much more going at a much more natural and manga level pacing. So I definitely recommend that for once if you want to watch the anime after you have caught up. But anyway, on to the next segment. Is going to be towards the One Piece community, and we'll have spoilers for Arlong Park. So if you don't want to see that, then go on to the final chapter of this video. So anyway, I chose Arlong Park as a de facto reason why a new One Piece fan or a potential One Piece fan should stop reading it and really think about if they like One Piece or not, is because Arlong Park is where the more darker themes start appearing from One Piece. In One Piece, right? We've got first, racism that exists within the world of One Piece, the income inequality, and finally, the broken justice. To name a couple of those that I see appear in Arlong Park, right? There's a lot more. And essentially, throughout that arc, we see or learn about Nami's backstory and how she was, enslaved essentially by the Fishman pirates to, work for them, to build and create these maps for them after they took over and they killed her mother figure right in front of her. Like, it's just really heart-wrenching and terrible. And she tries, to free herself, right? Goes stealing from pirates, making them money, right? To get 100 million to free and buy her village and get out of Arlong's control. But ultimately, Arlong wasn't going to help her in the first place. And, he wouldn't give up such a good, tool, essentially, is what he views her as for any reason, right? And, Luffy and the Straw Hats are trying to tell Nami wanting to help her, but she keeps refusing them because she's like, no, I'll free myself, yada yada, right? But once she gets her money stolen from those corrupt Marines that Arlong paid off and were the ones that were supposed to protect her village, she breaks down and asks finally Luffy's help, or in other words, the Straw Hats' help. And, they help her. And through that, they are able to free her, and then from the rest is history, But this makes Arlong Park really relatable, right? It's basically, having to deal with these shackles, these things that, stop a person from wanting to pursue their dreams, wanting to do what they wanted to do, right? And this can be in the form of, living paycheck to paycheck, having past trauma that has been dealt with, or, having a difficult situation that seems impossible to get out of, to name a bunch of many reasons why a person may feel shackled. And, taking the first step of wanting to pursue that freedom like Nami did, right? Trying to get herself out of the situation, and then eventually finding people who too want to have a dream, pursue a dream, be free, right? And essentially those were the people who were able to free her in the end, right? So basically, if you want to pursue freedom, take the first step, you will eventually meet people who too want to be free. And from then you can work together and they'll help free you, and then you'll free them. And then as a group, you can finally pursue your dreams. And it's just one of the many reasons and themes that One Piece calls for, or one of the main calls to actions that can be seen, right? And if at least, if a potential new, One Piece fan can see just a little bit of what I'm talking about here, and they will really want to keep reading and see what else One Piece has to offer and what they will build off of these themes of what was mentioned in Arlong Park. Thank you for watching up until now. You're a real one if you stayed until this far. And with that being said, I hope I was able to, convince you to give One Piece a fair chance. And if you are already a fan of One Piece, good for you. And I hope that I was able to, give you a new way of viewing One Piece and certain arcs. So thank you again, and I'll be signing off for now. See ya.